That intro was
I love the intro, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of, is it Rob and Cale or Cale and Rob?
and Darth.
And Darth, yeah.
I think it should be Rob and Cale. You think it should be Cale and Rob. So we'll let the audience decide.
Let us know in the comments.
That's right.
Yeah. But welcome back. Today we're going to flip the script a little bit and talk more about the difference between, or the intersection, between technology and marketing and how that flows. And I have some more questions for you. So we're going to flip the script and put you on the spot.
I'm ready. But before we do,
yes,
I know because you love talking about AI, and you know I do. ChatGPT did release an update that has completely blown my mind. It's like, I don't know, maybe you can speak a little bit about people that haven't seen it. Like it's crazy what it can do. Yeah,
it's really, I mean, ChatGPT is committed to, I think it's now seasonal updates. They do a fall, spring, summer, whatever, all 4 season drop. And this drop was a lot about all the different languages. So it can now talk and speak in like a ton of different languages. It's voice command now, so you can actually talk to it and it will speak back to you. And then it's got a lot of cool imagery and video stuff. So, you know, you put your phone on something, it's a math problem, helping you fix your sink at home, whatever it is, you can kind of see and instruct you along the way. And so that's our first look really at the visual side of what ChatGPT will be able to do.
That's crazy. And we're gonna ask it a question.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna see. You know, it's funny how we're just talking and randomly of Darth Vader, but we're just totally glazed over that there's Darth Vader sitting in the back. He actually talks to it.
You are beaten. It is useless to resist.
See, there you go. That's great too. So we're gonna ask ChatGPT a question first. So, so I know you have some questions we want to talk about. I'll answer them after.
Okay.
But we're gonna see what it says. So let's connect. Hey, ChatGPT, it's Rob here. We're doing a live stream podcast. It's called Live with Rob and Cale, or Live with Cale and Rob, however you want to say.
Hey, Rob. Of course. I'd be happy to help with your questions about marketing. What do you want to know?
Can you tell us some of the biggest marketing trends of 2024?
Experiences to individual customer preferences using data insights. 2, sustainability.
You get the idea.
Yeah, she'll go on and on.
It's crazy. That was real time, just answering questions and it's it can become your personal assistant and I used it today actually to ask it. I said I'm craving sushi tonight and I'm in Kelowna. And it actually gave me 2 local restaurants.
It's insane. And we're doing it a lot on the business side for clients. Like, hey, how do I save time? Can you help me automate these processes maybe of work that I don't enjoy? So I can do the things I enjoy more. And that's where there's tons of value in it. And it's incredible too. I was watching a video of a kid doing a math homework and the way that it could walk the kid through of, okay, we're going to isolate X. So now what do you think the next step is? And the kid goes, I'm not sure. And the GPT model was smart enough to walk them through it. Yeah. So teachers, you know, maybe it's not all for cheating anymore. Maybe now there's a way that we can use it in the classroom too.
That's crazy. Yeah. We're going to put ChatGPT away. So let's jump in.
Sweet. So Rob and I, obviously, we work together with clients. I do more of the technology side. You do the marketing side. And I think there's this intersection that we've really come to notice about people that have great technology ideas. They spend a lot of time and money building them out from a technology side.
Right.
But they sometimes forget the marketing standpoint. You know, like, oh, people have to use this. People have to know this exists. So from your standpoint as kind of a marketing expert, do you see an issue with companies that maybe invest too much on the product side but not enough on the marketing side?
Yeah, 100%. I think I always say you can have the coolest website or product, but if you don't tell anyone about it, guess what? No one's going to know about it. Right. So I think that we do see that, or sometimes the other way around as well, where they invest dollars in marketing but don't have the product ready to go, because that is, you know, a lot of times you only get one chance. So especially if it's technology. People are fickle. They want instant gratification. Yeah. If you go to your website or an app and it's not working properly, they're probably never going to come back. It doesn't matter how much money you spent on your marketing. So 100%, I think you need to marry both of those when you see like success.
Right. Sure. And we talked about it, but it's like when you move into where to spend, and like I know you're a firm believer in the strategy side. I am too, even on a technology standpoint of like, you know, can we think through our process before we just throw dollars at something? And you know, we do that a lot with wireframing and UI and UX work. Even now with AI modeling can tell us like, hey, these are trends people want to see. How do you, on a marketing standpoint or from a marketing standpoint, approach strategy, you know, from all different types of businesses? And I know like we're going to talk about social media marketing, but are there brands that can still utilize, you know, signs on the side of the road or a sign on a hockey board, or like how does that work, and how do brands pick? Is it social media, or is it paper, or is it a billboard? What is it?
And I think that's a great question. It's I always say that the beauty of the position we're in, we're not beholden to any media. Like we don't make any more or less money for giving money to Mark Zuckerberg or to the local billboard company. So from our perspective is that's why we go through strategy first, is because we don't want to jump to conclusions. We want to understand, doesn't matter what brand it is, who you're trying to talk to, what do you want to say to them, what's your end goal, what's your KPI, on and on and on. And then from that, the tactical part actually becomes the easy part. Because you're like, here's the framework. Now we just got to match the channels that best reach it. And it's that simple. And we have clients that social media doesn't work for them. We do direct mail or whatever it is, or some channels, you know, still in general, most of our clients are digitally focused, but it's not always about that. We go through the strategy, and sometimes an internal strategy is good. Direct mail is good. A billboard might be good. Whatever it may be, but we don't come in with any preconceived notion of what it should be until we go through the strategy part.
And I think that's interesting because it's the same thing on the tech side, right? I'm like, it's like building a house, right? Like, you know, we have to pick floors, we have to pick countertops, we have to pick size of house before we just go buy some lumber and start, you know.
100%.
It's scary though. There's a lot of people out there that'll just say, "Go buy the lumber and let's just start building a house."
I use that analogy all the time that when you build, you don't just grab nail and some wood and some. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go. But same with the website. If I just come and say, "Hey, Cale, I want a website," okay, what do you want it to do? What do you like? Do you have content? Do you have image? Like, just so much that I think coming from a strategic point of view, typically actually will save money for clients. Even though there's an upfront investment for strategy, 100% save money for them.
It's always interesting too to see a client kind of get almost shocked by that initial strategy.
That's right.
And I'm like, no. Like, trust me, go talk to someone that didn't do that, right? Didn't discover like, oh, you know, I maybe shouldn't be spending money here. I shouldn't be spending money there. I don't know if DJ J over there can pull up our choosing the right social media.
He's gonna spin a tune for
it. That too. I'm putting him on the spot. But as we're talking through this, there's so many different social media channels now. What is popping right now? Like there we see it up there. What is that? Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I know it depends on what your business is and what your goals are, but do you have a platform right now that you like to advertise on?
I think from an advertising perspective, Meta still is the king or queen. Like it really is on a cost per thousand market. Like it actually is. The downside of, I say, and I'll say this because, we're in a local market of the problem that I have with those social channels is that Facebook doesn't sponsor little Johnny's soccer team or hockey team. So I do have an issue. There's an issue there, but I'm going to park that aside for a second to say really Meta still is dominant in that space, especially when it comes to Instagram Reels and Stories, very powerful, like video. TikTok is like continues to blow up. Who knows where it's going to go? Is it going to be here? I know that they're trying to ban it and sell it and whatever it may be.
Back to government, like the last podcast.
That's right.
So we should probably just keep it going there.
They should just not get involved in that stuff. But that's a whole different podcast. But the problem with TikTok I have is that it's hard to get people to click through from TikTok to your website. So you're building traffic for TikTok, but you're not necessarily building traffic for your website. So there's a struggle there for sure. And then the other one, I think, YouTube is big. Again, you're probably seeing a theme video, right? So YouTube's the second biggest search engine right now. People use it a lot. I like LinkedIn. I still think LinkedIn for the right client, if you're looking for B2B, I think LinkedIn's I feel it's underutilized right now. I really do. So that's another one as well. And then there's a whole bunch, like you said, based on who you are, Snapchat, for the young kids, the youngins. I tried to download Snapchat and I was completely useless with it. But Twitch It's another one that's popular if you're into that space, but it really
streaming
depends.
space.
Yeah, streaming space, right? But I would say the Meta products, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn are really the ones that we focus on a lot.
Right. Yeah. It's insane. Like, to me, Meta's come so far, even just from a dev perspective, absorbing Instagram and really almost saying, like, not leaving Facebook behind, but almost leaving Facebook behind.
Yeah.
Like, do you notice that? Instagram's their new thing. It's
100%.
It's, my mom, my grandparents are still on Facebook, kind of family connect area. Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to see the new things, the trends, what Instagram. People are doing, it's really
100%.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I'm hammering you with questions, but I'm sure. I mean, this is like free marketing help right now. We're gonna fill all our listeners. Right, so consumer behavior has shifted, right? Yeah. And everybody knows that. Yeah. But I see it on a technology side from how we integrate. I don't think people are as much into mobile apps anymore. They sway more web-based. Right. AI integrations are huge right now. How can we make it easier for someone? I think that Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes have really switched it to this like model of help me and help me now. Yeah. I want it. I want it easy. I want an interface that I can go to on the app side that's easy to use. And on the website, I think that there's a lot of companies that are doing well because they understand what the consumer wants. And from your perspective, you're in it every day. What does the consumer behavior look like in 2024? And has it shifted? I know you've talked a lot about video, but maybe we should go.
Yeah, I mean, definitely 100% shifted. I think we might talk, like the pandemic actually really put fuel to the fire when it comes to shifting patterns as well, because I think it's a very much a mobile first right now. When I started in the marketing world, you bought newspaper, you bought radio, and you bought TV. Yeah, right on billboard.
He's old.
Yeah, I'm really old. Like
that's why I think we should do Cale and Rob in case Rob kicks the can over here.
So yeah, I mean those are your options.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely mobile first. I love that you're talking about Uber. I think that there's this. And I'm not taking credit. I think you used this term once, and I'm sticking with it. Is this creator? Right. I have a house. I'm not in. You need to stay here. You need a place to stay. Airbnb. And I feel like there's this big push to this matching economy. And I know you're working on some of these clients, and we're excited. We're going to bring them on to the podcast down the road when they launch, because I think there's some really cool stuff that you're working on, and we're working on together on that. I think that really talk about this. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give away the.
Yeah, but I mean, you're more on the marketing side, so but you're exactly right in that, and you're working with this client that we're thinking about right now, and the way that they're thinking about matching two different pieces together is incredible.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Something you never thought about. Brilliant. And I do agree with you that goes back to like that behavior that shifted. Correct. Right? Like, I want something, I want it now, and you can offer it to me. Put us together, link it.
But I think it also in this product we'll speak to it is that we're trying to get people want time back. Yeah. Like, we're busy. We're like, I'm a foodie. We're talking about with a client today. It's like, what do you do at the end of the day? You joke around saying by the time you get home, it's 6, 7 o'clock. Yeah. Do you want to make dinner? Oh, we'll just grab Subway. You know what I mean? Like,
or DoorDash.
So I think people are trying to get time back as well. So they want things quickly. Yeah. So they can actually spend time with family and friends and whatever they want to do outside of work. So I think we're seeing that. And the last thing I think I'll add is people are looking for experiences as well. And I think that's an important part of like, not just like they want a story, they want to make a connection. So I think that's an important part that we sometimes leave out in the marketing side or clients do. Like, people want to know who's behind the brand and they want to make that connection. So those are, I mean, I could go on and on, but those sort of come to mind to me on sort of that.
So in a brand then today, like, and I'm fascinated by this, like brands are becoming so much more tangible. You have a relationship with them. 100%. You understand them. And I know we've been talking about this for 10 years. Like, be more personal with your brand. But when you get into an Uber, from an app experience, I feel like I have a relationship with that app. I know when the notification's coming, when they're going to ask for tip.
You can see the person's face.
I got the brand. They remind me, hey, we're worried about your safety, so check the license plate. Like, they've subtly created a relationship with their end user. Right. Yeah, and I think that's huge.
I think that the personalization part is important for all brands, even at the local level. Like, this doesn't have to be Uber.
Yeah.
You can do it at, like, that you mentioned, and I keep talking about AI, but there's technology that will automate that stuff for you, that you can start doing personalized messaging, emails. You know what Rob likes, what Cale likes when they come into the restaurant, or when they're come into car shop. Like, you can start doing that fairly easily, for lack of a better word. Nothing's easy, but fairly easily compared to what it was a few years ago, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a segue into, so there's a personalization of the brand, there's the AI piece of the brand, and AI in technology piece, like especially in e-commerce, right? Like, as you gain valuable information on your client, how do you target them better? Don't just blast out an email to your entire database and have 40 people unsubscribe. You know what those 40 people want because they bought from you, right? So I think that moves now into,
actually, I just want to add something there. I went to a conference, this is years ago, but it stuck with me that it was a speaker, the guy was from Amazon, and he was talking about marketing. He said, Amazon knows more about people than a spouse might, because a spouse might be on Amazon searching for a book on depression. But he hasn't told his wife and kids, or she hasn't told her husband or kids that she's suffering from depression. And I'm like, that, and it's got me thinking about, and this is years ago, how much, like, again, back to personalization, how much they know about you and how much you know about your clients, and how you can really customize that journey for them, right? So.
And on that, because now you got me thinking too, like, I am a firm believer that I love my privacy and I love my data, but I also love when a brand knows
100%.
how to, for lack of a better word, get the shit and take it out and give me what I'm looking for. Like, there's a brand out there today that can give me what I want, and I'm going to buy it. And it's really, I think, and you can probably speak to this, but you guys are in the game of the matching economy too. We have a widget and we have a client, but which client do we match this widget to, right? And make that sale or join.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so I've been peppering you with questions. So these are some of my last ones. If you made it this far in our podcast, you're a true Cale and Rob. Wait. There. I know you're out there waiting for Rob to push the button on that. But we have DJ J over there. If we wanted to pull up that orange influencer marketing spend. I think this is just crazy. And I wanted to talk to you about this because there's micro influencers, there's influencers, there's this concept that we've been talking a lot about of like an AI influencer. We brought that up on our last podcast. Where is this going? Does this continue to grow? Why now? Like, why is influencer marketing growing like it is?
I think because it's back to that personalization and connection. Like, I think there's people want to be attached to something, right? And I think when you put a person there, they can attach to that person. They can picture themselves. Oh yeah, like, I mean, look at Kardashian or whatever it is. Like, well, I want to be like them. Well, if they use this perfume, well, I want to go buy some. So they're making that connection with them, and I think that it allows the brand to bring that personality out in a way that you can't do with an ad. You just can't do with an ad, because people, as much as influencer marketing is advertising, people don't see it that way sometimes. It just, if it's done right, it's authentic, transparent, and then it allows you to connect in a way that you just can't over other technology or other advertising mediums.
So in a way, like the best influencers, they're not selling to you. They're
100% not.
They're almost selling themselves that you want to be.
And no one wants to be sold. Like, honestly, no one wants. It doesn't matter what you do. No one wants to be sold. And in the bigger brands, like go into a really high end, I don't know, go to Vancouver and go to the Lamborghini or Ferrari dealership. They don't jump all, like, you know what I mean? Like, I did that about a month ago. Because I was curious.
What color did you get?
Yeah, that's right. One of each. But you walk in there, it's not like that. Maybe they're like, well, that guy can't afford one, so we're not going to. But you know what I mean? It's not about, at that level, it's not about high pressure sales.
No.
Right? It's
relationship.
Correct. Yeah. Right? Building that relationship. And I think businesses can take that to implement, like, and I think that's where influencers come in. If you can make it where it's very organic, right, rather, when it's forced,
right,
like, you know what I mean, like it's those late night, hi, I'm Rob, and I like, that's not going to sell your product, right? Like, you need to be authentic, and I think that's why I think there's a shift, like a lot of micro influencers do well, because micro influencers can be a little bit more authentic than where Kim Kardashian is saying how great Check Creative is. You're like, what? That's weird. Like, you know what I mean?
And then it comes out behind how much she got paid for that ad, and people start to get that sour taste of like.
So you have to be careful on that, and I think at the start, a lot of the celebrities were taking on everything, and I think they're even being more picky on like, I have to try a product first before I do it. I want to be behind. And you see other ones that put their face behind, like there's Shaq. Literally has his face on it.
Cereal,
everything. Insurance, everything. So
and for me, that's what the value I think we want to bring in this podcast, and even some of the events that we're planning to do is like. Everybody today has a website. Everybody today has a brand, and everybody today has something they want to sell. We get it.
Yeah.
But how do those three things connect, right? And I see it a lot on the tech side of people that want this software to be perfect. They want the Uber software.
Yeah.
And then they turn the corner and go, okay, now we have to get people to use it. Yeah. Or you have people that are so set on using something, and they really haven't invested enough into the product side. And the whole point, I think, of today and the last episode was to show the technology trends, the marketing trends, and really how those need to merge together and be one cohesive unit.
Well, and remember that it's so like noisy out there right now too, right? Like, just go on to Instagram or Facebook or drive and see all the billboards. Like, there's a lot of messaging out there, so you need to be able to really, back to strategy, really understand who your audience is.
Right.
Make sure you're targeting them, and that's the beauty of digital marketing nowadays, is you can have that one-on-one relationship with Cale.
Yeah,
right. So
pretty easily.
With Rob or DJJ, like you can do that in a one-to-one basis. You were never like way back when you buy a radio spot or a TV spot. There's no one-on-one connection.
Right.
You're broadcasting across, and whoever's sitting on the other side of the TV, or you're hoping, right?
Yeah.
Where now you can actually have that one-on-one communication with people and be personalized and use the technology out there. But you need to make sure your stuff works well.
Right.
Because if not, and that's back to authentic for me. I always, like, if a client comes in and said, I want to be a high-end brand and insert vertical. Well, if I come to your store or your storefront, I better have that experience.
Yeah. And I think people expect, I've been to a brand store and I'm like, where's the brand?
Yeah.
Like, you lost me in the store, and then you lost me again on the website, and then you lost me again on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Especially with the noise, to be able to say, that's Uber, that's Nordstrom, that's whatever the brand is that you're like, that's it. That's that silver bag from that's that black app that has the white text, like you know it and you feel it. And I'm a strong believer that the small businesses that are out there in Kelowna or anywhere can really learn from that and set themselves apart by having that cohesive plan.
100%.
Yeah.
And you made a valid point that most brands will go, most people will go check out your website. We'll go check your Instagram page.
Yeah.
We'll go, like, they will be on there, and that's how they're searching. Like, consumers are more informed now than ever.
Yeah.
Like, they can search and find things online fairly easily now.
Yeah.
So you better make sure that it's cohesive and works across all the platforms.
Well, that's, I think, a really good segue to renaming the podcast to Cale and Rob. What do we think? DJJ? Cale and Rob?
I don't know about that.
He's saying,
I feel like that's not right.
I think he's fixing it right now. Is he going to put it up back up there?
I think we should be like live with Rob and Darth.
I'm off the podcast. All right, guys, this is my last week. Well, we're really gonna get in now to some guests coming in. We're gonna do a couple live stream events. We had a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Was there anything else that I missed?
No, I think we're excited to be. We're gonna our next one. I think we're gonna have some guests, and we're gonna have some events that we're gonna invite people to and talk about technology, about AI, about marketing, about everything. So we're super excited, and Darth will be at it as well. So
yeah, and if you are watching this podcast still and you have questions, put them in the chat. Like, maybe we start the next pod with if people have any. Yeah, we'd love to do that. So with that, let's outro this.
Do we have an outro?
Same as the intro.
DJJ's like, oh shit, we don't have an outro.
Let's see. Ready? 1, 2, 3.